Tsukune Aono is a high school student who flunked all his high school entry tests and accidentally ends up getting admitted to a school meant for monsters called the Youkai Academy. On his first day, after getting off the bus, he encounters a cute pink-haired girl named Moka Akashiya. She suddenly bites him and reveals herself to be a vampire. At first, Tsukune finds it hard to believe and thinks that he will have the best time of his life at this school, but everything turns out to be a nightmare for him. He realizes that everyone at this school is a monster, and they would kill any human found on the school premises. Tsukune tries to run away from the school, but Moka stops him as he is the only friend she has yet. Tsukune reveals the fact that he is human, and that she wouldn't want to be his friend and ran away. While chasing after Tsukune, Mako gets caught up with another monster who attacks her. Tsukune hears her scream and turns back to help her. He gets beaten by the monster quite a bit and accidentally takes Mako's Rosario off her. Mako turns into her true form of a dominating vampire and kicks the hell out of the jerk. Afterward, Tsukune decides to stay at the school and continue to be Mako's friend. Tsukune is trying to adjust to his new high school until the next bus to the human world arrives. When he finally meets Moka at the school, she couldn't resist and bites him again, making him a little upset. He runs into the woods and finds a girl named Kurumu. She acts like she's sick, so Tsukune offers to take her to the nurse's office. On her way, she bewitches Tsukune. When Moka finds Tsukune to apologize to him, he brushes her off because of the spell. He tries to apologize for what he said but couldn't get a hold of her. It was later revealed that Kurumu is an incubus and wants to charm everyone so she can find her destined one. She claims war against Moka, but Tsukune comes and they went away. Later, Moka's Rosario tells her that Tsukune is trapped in a spell and might die if things continue, so she decides to save him. She kicks Kurumu away as soon as she finds them. Kurumu then transforms into her true form and fights them, but things change when Tsukune takes off Moka's Rosario and she transforms into her true form. She beats sense into Kurumu and intends to cut her wings off, but Tsukune stops her because he thinks she is nice deep down, so the vamp Moka spears her and puts the charm back on. The next day, Kurumu claims that she has decided Tsukune is her destined one and will chase after him. The exams happened a little earlier in Youkai Academy, and Moka turns out to be the smartest of all. They were busy in their own conversation when Moka sees some guy bullying a little girl, Yukari Sendu. She is a witch and a few years younger than them. Moka saves her from the bully and Yukari asks Moka to be her friend. Although Moka has nothing against her, Yukari is incredibly clingy and even gets hostile towards Tsukune and screws him over a few times. He tries to confront her about her behavior, but it all falls over deaf ears. Later he discovers that Yukari has been alone all her life, since neither humans nor monsters tend to accept them, and that's why Moka didn't want to abandon her. Meanwhile, the bullies from before corner Yukari and try to harass her. Moka gets there just in time and ensures Yukari that she is there to help. Moments later, during her struggle against one of the bullies, Tsukune jumps in and did the only thing he is good at, removing Moka's Rosario. The ruthless vampire is unleashed once again and peace is now brought back to our group. Yukari apologizes for her bad behavior and promises to be good. Tsukune is trying to adjust to the school as best as he could, but he's uncomfortable about the fact that he's hiding his true identity. During this confusion, he encounters a girl fan club who bullies him for being so close to their idols. The girls get there in time and chase the guys away, but Tsukune feels bad about the fact that he needs saving from them instead of the other way around. While these thoughts weigh on him, the creepy fan club guys keep shadowing the three girls taking pictures and stalking them. During this time, it's the time for the monthly bus to arrive, so Tsukune leaves with a bag towards the station. Yukari sees that and tells Moka that Tsukune is leaving. Before they get to him, the creepy fan club guys had already cornered him and were in the middle of tormenting him. They'd all team up and unleash their monster form to beat the crap out of those creeps. Later it turns out that Tsukune didn't come to the station to leave. He was just there to deliver some letters to his parents. Moka feels embarrassed but does not say anything. At this moment, Tsukune promises himself to get stronger so next time he can protect them. Tsukune wants to impress Moka, and it's almost time for the signing up for clubs. Moka and Tsukune come across the swimming club. Tsukune decides to sign up for it, and even though Moka can't get close to water, since vampires are surprisingly weak to water, she went in anyway. Tsukune is completely unaware of this fact and ends up making her upset. He tries to follow her but gets distracted. Everyone else had a bunch of fun while Moka suffered in silence. After some time, the swim club members show their true colors. They have lured everyone in to feed on them. Tsukune was about to get eaten when Moka got back. She jumps into the water without caring that it will harm her, but ends up drowning due to the continuous zapping. Kurumu helps free Tsukune, and he dives in to save Moka. When the badass Moka comes out, it was a matter of seconds before she took care of the mermaid. Then she slaps Tsukune for being so inconsiderate of Moka's feelings. Later, Tsukune apologizes to Moka, and they both, in fact, all four of them end up joining the same club, the News Club. It's the first day of the News Club together, and their teacher introduces them to the president of the club, Jenny Morioka. He is a sophomore and looks like a lady killer. But when all of them were preparing for their first scoop about a peeping Tom on the school ground, Tsukune catches him peeking at the girl's panties and confronts him about it. He pushes the blame on him, resulting in all the girls being upset with him, especially Moka. The situation ends up getting worse when he accidentally gets mixed up in Jen's mess. Jen wants to win Moka, and for that he plans to put dirt on Tsukune. So he calls him and sets him up as a peeping Tom, taking pictures as evidence. Everyone believed what they saw, but Kurumu and Yukari trust their friend and started their own investigation. Meanwhile, Jen tries to seduce Moka, but fails to hold his ground when Kurumu fact-checked him. He was about to attack them when Tsukune comes into the scene and takes off Moka's Rosario. The badass Moka beats the crap out of the guy, and later on, they publish a story about Tsukune being innocent, revealing the real culprit. Things seem to be going well with the club. During the successful sale, they encounter a girl, Mizore Shurayuki. She turns out to be in their class and was unable to show up to class for some time now. Mizore is a fan of Tsukune's writing and thinks that he will understand her more than anyone. Moka and the others were planning to throw a party, but Tsukune runs late because Mizore holds him back and tries to kill Moka with one of her clones. But fortunately, Moka and Kurumu get to the scene in time and stop her. Later on, all of them find out that Mizore has attacked a teacher and is probably on a run. Tsukune volunteers to find her and asks her to apologize to the teacher, but hearing that Mizore becomes more upset and uncontrollable. It turns out it wasn't Mizore who attacked the teacher. She was only trying to defend herself from his molestation. During her tantrum, the ice underneath her cracks, and she falls, but Tsukune saves her. Following that, the badass Moka beats some sense into her, and Mizore finally decides to turn a new leaf. Finals are around the corner, and Tsukune is awfully bad in math. If he doesn't do anything quick, he's going to be toasted. So he asks Moka for help, but the others join in and end up having a combined tutoring session. During this time, their hot math teacher, Miss Kagum, has had her eyes on Tsukune for a while, and finally asks him to have her private tutoring sessions. Her tutoring sessions were so intense that Tsukune looked like his soul left his body. Moka is still worried about Tsukune, so she made a copy of her notes for him just in case, but when she tries to hand them to him, Miss Kagum middles and takes him away. During one of the sessions, Moka hears Tsukune scream and went to see him and finds out that Miss Kagum is torturing him. Just then, Mizore shows up and helps her out. During their struggle, Tsukune sees Moka's torn notes and comes to his senses. He stops Miss Kagum and thanks Moka for doing so much for him. The Rosario comes off and the baddest Moka kicks Miss Kagum's butt. All the learning is gone with the curse, but except Kurumu, everyone else managed to pass just fine and is looking forward to summer break. After finals, it's time for summer break, and Miss Nekonom has planned a trip to the human world for the News Club. They all gather at the station and begin their journey. Tsukune is excited to see the world he grew up in once again. They all went to the beach to have a fun time. During their usual quarrels, Tsukune spots a sunflower field on the hill. They all went to check it out. Apparently, it's rumored to be a place cursed by a witch. Since Yukari is the youngest, everyone keeps treating her like a child, not letting her do anything, being upset with this treatment. She went to the hill and encounters the rumored witch, Ruby. She tells Yukari that she is protecting the field from humans and absolutely loathes them. Just then, Tsukune comes looking for Yukari. The witch attacks Tsukune despite Yukari stopping her. Ruby restrains both of them, but Yukari quickly takes care of all the monsters she summoned. Moka and the others found them, and they were about to return when the witch suddenly attacks Tsukune, making him bleed heavily. This scene riles up everyone, unleashing their monster form. When Ruby comes to Tsukune, and the others were sitting around her and offering her tea, they try to persuade her to leave her and go with them. But Ruby leaves in the middle of the night back to her ladyship and is tormented by her. Later, Tsukune and the others went to find Ruby and find her in the sunflower field in her monster form. She claims to kill everyone, since it's what her ladyship wishes for. She summons her golems and attacks them. Tsukune and Moka get stuck in the vines. Tsukune takes Moka's Rosario off, freeing them from the vines, but Ruby is way stronger than they thought and manages to go head-to-head with Moka. During this commotion, Tsukune spots a house and went to find her ladyship Kurumu, Yukari, and Mizore back him up while he rushes towards the house. He finds an abundant house full of roots and vines and searches inside. Turns out her ladyship has been dead for a long time, and Ruby couldn't accept the fact and acted the way she did. They worked together to defeat Ruby, and Moka delivered the last blow as usual. The dawn hits and their president catch up with the club after finishing his makeup classes. Surprisingly, he found Ruby floating in the sea and brought her with him safe and sound. Second term has begun and Tsukune has contacted his mother while he was in the human world. Their newspaper club was doing pretty great until they encounter a rival club called the Super Newspaper Club. They take the spotlight away from the Yokai Gazette, which pisses Kurumu off since she was most excited about the club. According to the school rules, only one of these two clubs can exist, and the other will perish based on popularity. She tries to come up with ways to improve their sale, but nothing works. Meanwhile, Jin discovers that their rivals are backed by the security team, and so it's a lost cause now. He tells them to burn the papers and forget about it. Kurumu is heartbroken since she cherishes these papers too much. Just then the rivals club shows up and mocks them. Kurumu tries to confront them, but they went overboard and burn their paper in front of them and attack. Turns out one of them is from a security team and tries to take Kurumu under her control with her venom. But Moka shows up and beats the crap out of the spider lady. But this isn't over just yet. The security team is still on their tail and will strike back. The news club has started collecting evidence on all the bad deeds the security team has done so far, but since they don't have any reliable testimonies, they can't reveal anything yet. During this time, they asked the Moka Kurumu Yukari fan club for help, but they were already under the security team's radar and refused to get involved. One afternoon, the security team's head personally comes to inspect Tsukune's class and charges him for being a human, along with Moka Kurumu and Mizore. Tsukune's trial begins and Kuyu tortures him to confess. Tsukune finally confesses after hearing Moka's painful voice. It turns out everyone was listening, and when he confessed, Kurumu and Mizore were especially hurt by the fact that Moka lied about Tsukune being human and left. Tsukune is charged guilty and is given the death penalty, while Kurumu is deep in confusion as to what the right thing to do is. Moka wants to save him, but she is confined under a cell and couldn't get out. So, if no one tries to save him, he might actually die. Miss Nekonom tries to plead with the principal to let Tsukune off the hook, but everyone seems to hate humans to the core and won't do anything to save him. In his last moments, Tsukune only asks Kuyu to let his friends live and nothing else, but Kuyu condemns him. Just when everyone was about to give up and were in deep regret, they see a crow talking to them and leading them all to Moka, who was currently in a cell. The crow turns out to be Ruby. She boosts their morals and motivates them to save Tsukune. And so the news club went to save Tsukune together. Kurumu and Ruby fly Tsukune away, while others engage in a fight with the security team. Kuyu follows them, watching that Moka also went after him. She gets to Tsukune and the others before Kuyu. But just when they thought he was okay, a flame arrow pierces through Tsukune's chest and burns him to crisp. The last thing he did was to pull Rosario off. Moka tries to inject her own blood into him to save him, while the other keeps Kuyu busy. Kuyu is a fox demon who is known to be very powerful, but he transforms into his ultimate form, which is even stronger. Moka jumps into the fight when almost everyone was down, but sharing her blood with Tsukune has made her quite weak. She holds her fort as best as she could, and they both survive. Moka then finally finishes him off and puts the Rosario back on. Everyone in the school thinks that it was Tsukune who defeated the security team and accepted him as a monster. Later on, Tsukune finds out that maybe he's falling for the real badass Moka after what happened, and starts looking forward to the many moments he will spend with his friends at Youkai Academy.